This week on the Unnatural world, we set sail for the coast of Transylvania, a land of danger, mystery and excitement, but also known for its vampires. Vampires, once thought to be extinct, simply turned out to be nocturnal. While most people are out and about, doing their grocery shopping, going to school, or working in a job, the vampire sleeps and gets up at night to do vampirely things. On the fourth day of our voyage, our scout Enrique kept an eye out for land. Ah, he spotted it. Transylvania, good lad. After some tense negotiations, we came to port in a small town, whose primary export is dirt, and whose major industry is dirt farming. We had heard that the locals here tell stories of the Eastern European vampire living in a church basement. After unpacking our cargo, our lunch, and our camera equipment, we set off for the local village to search for some answer. Had anyone seen a vampire recently? And if so, where might we find one? Pardon me, sir, could we ask you a few... Little girl? Oh, no, sorry. Have you seen any vampires around? Could we ask you a few questions? Eventually, we ran into these two ladies who said that we should search in the local castle. And there, what luck, we've spotted him, the Eastern European vampire, looking rather stunned at our arrival. Maybe we've spooked him. Hello, little fellow. Hello there. Yes, that's it. We're friendly. Hello, little fellow. Come on out. Don't be shy. But then he snuck off back into the darkness. The Eastern European vampire is a carnivore, feeding mainly on prepackaged rats, sleeping women, sailors in town from Scandinavia, whom he catches by sneaking up on them from the hold of the ship. Women alone at night, unsuspecting of his shadow hand. Dinner guests who have taken more than their fair share of bread. Women who fall asleep listening to the radio because their neighbors are fighting constantly. Men and women who kiss each other. Men with axes who are easily frightened by someone standing up. And chickens. The Eastern European vampire makes his burrow in old castles, barns, warehouses, and libraries. However, there is always the threat that the vampire's burrow will be found by a predator and he will have to move. And so the vampire picks up his nest, moves out of his burrow, and goes in search of a place that he can call home. He may search far and wide, looking for a place that is safe and dry to put his nest and hunker down for a good day's sleep. Though he prefers to live indoors in old, run-down buildings, no place is off limits for the vampire. This vampire has found an old fountain but it might prove to be a little too damp for his liking. It seems that he has decided that this fountain is unsuitable and goes off to search somewhere else. A lovely row of cottages may seem an adequate burrow, but the chances of him being found by a predator are far too great, and so he decides to give this one a pass and move on. Aha! This old factory may do quite nicely. The river running past out front will keep away some predators. There is many a dark hole inside this factory that he can crawl into. Maybe a lovely dank corner where he can put his nest and settle down. In addition, the front door seems to be very well locked, a hindrance for most animals, but the Eastern European vampire can simply dissolve and pass through the keyhole. Here we see the village council preparing for the annual vampire hunt. Even though the vampire had been thought to be extinct, it didn't stop the village from participating in the hunt every April 17th. The tradition begins when a boy is selected to run through the city shouting "Vampire! Vampire!", signaling the men of town to gather their pitchfork. There he is! They've spotted him! But alas, what they have found is the southern false vampire, using its natural camouflage to disguise itself as their prey. Under normal circumstances, this camouflage dissuades larger predators from eating the false vampire. But unfortunately for the false vampire, his beautiful plumage is not going to help him on this day, the day of the hunt. The false vampire runs through alleys, runs through streets, eventually makes it out of town. But still the villagers give chase. Ever the crafty little devil, the false vampire hides behind a large rock. Unfortunately for the false vampire, the villagers have a keen sense of smell and quickly find his hiding place. The villagers quickly swarm the false vampire, picking him up, carting him back to their homes, and trussing him up. The Eastern European vampire's only known predator is, of course, the rising sun. Their pale complexion tends to burn rather easily, and they do not do well in the heat of the day. As the morning sun rises, the Eastern European vampire must seek shelter in his burrow or a nearby cupboard. There was a time in days gone by when the morning sunrise would see thousands of vampires scurrying for shelter, finding any cover that they could. For any vampire caught out in the direct sunlight would be burnt to a crisp and become nothing more than a small cloud of smoke. Having found the vampires, we packed up our few things and set sail back for home.